Hey, it's Jeff, and today I want to tell you a story about my CFI, her husband, who's a pilot, and their two children, a prop strike, and why I'm flying a different airplane for the rest of my flight training. So back in March of 2021, I began taking flying lessons. I'd been working on ground school. I'd talked to several CFIs and really made a connection with Sarah Burtz from Flight Instruction Incorporated, Central City, Nebraska. So Sarah and I, on March 25th, attempted to have our first flying lesson. And there's a whole nother video coming out to tell you about first tries of flying lessons. Let's just say that we ended up borrowing an airplane because theirs was down, and then we had an intercom issue with that. So we actually made 1.5 traffic patterns before she took the controls and landed the plane. So fast forward to the end of May, and Sarah and her family were going on vacation. When they got back, my daughter and I were going to be on vacation. I was studying for my private pilot written, which I passed, thanks, fly8mikealpha.com. I'm going to try and put a card there. Don't know if that works. Middle of June, just passed my written test and was in communication with Sarah about passing it, and that's great. And a couple of days go by and she calls me back. And I, of course, am thinking it's time to get back in the plane and fly. It's been almost a month since I've had a flight lesson. Sarah calls to tell me a story, and I share the story with her permission, keeping her name attached at her request because she wants others to learn from her mistake. So it was a beautiful evening, and Sarah and her husband, who's a pilot, were going to take the kids up for a sunset flight. Sarah pulled the plane out of the hangar, and the last thing Sarah does is a final walk around and remove the tow bar. But one of the children started having a meltdown. Now, her kids are both under the age of 5, so if you're parents of littles, you understand exactly what happens to a mama's heart at that point. She's trying to console and comfort, and she knows it's just after a long day, the kids are tired, and if she can get them strapped in, they'll settle down and they'll have a nice flight as a family. So Matt is acting as PIC, and he's doing a walk around of the rest of the plane, but does not go back around the front of the plane, and the tow bar got left attached to the front strut. So, two pilots, one a CFI, work the checklists. Now, so as a pilot, you know that checklists are our lifelines. One of the checklists, not just the pre-flight walk around one, but that every pilot is supposed to perform before a flight, is the I'm safe checklist. And as a pilot, you're probably already running through those things in your mind. Do I have any illness? Am I taking any medications? Is there any stress? Yeah. So the takeaway that Sarah wanted me to share with you, and she'd love to talk to you about, and is changing how she flies and how she teaches, is this: was there any stress? You have an under 2-year-old having a meltdown in the airplane. The 2-year-old is stressed, which makes mama stressed. And even though she's not PIC, she was involved in the pre-flight, and there was an incomplete procedure that led to the tow bar being left on the front strut. Matt gets in the plane having not walked back around the front, starts the engine, splits the prop, causes a total tear down and overhaul, and 3-2 X-ray is out of commission for the remainder of the summer. Now, could it have been worse? Yes. Thankfully, nobody was in the area when the prop hit the tow bar, and the tow bar chunks went flying, and the prop chunks went flying. But what's the takeaway? Do you ever brief your passengers on the I'm safe? Is it possible that one of your passengers has a sinus thing going on that once you're up in the air is going to become a medical situation? It's possible one of your passengers is taking a medication that's going to make them not enjoy the flight. Is it possible one of your passengers is really anxious or stressed? Is it possible that the checklists apply to everybody in the plane? As Sarah and I were debriefing, she really did want this to be a learning thing for me, for her, for anyone who sees this. So 8332 X-rays out of commission. The rest of June, all of July so far, will be through most of August. No one was hurt, but a very difficult lesson was learned, an expensive lesson of checking on those passengers also. So a story about a CFI, well, she should know better. A licensed pilot, well, he should have known better. Two little kids, they don't know better. And a student pilot who had to go find a new plane in CFI. The takeaway is this: use your checklists. Evaluate your situation. Always, always, always fly safe.